Funeral home horror tonight. What Detroit police have uncovered in the ceiling of a Detroit funeral home, and it has us in complete shock.
Around a dozen infant bodies were recovered from inside Cantrell Funeral Home, which was shut down earlier this year. This breaking news tops our newscast tonight.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night. So far, 11 infant bodies have been found in the ceiling of Cantrell Funeral Home, and we're told that number could grow.
Action News reporter Ali Hoxie is live there right now where police just started talking. Let's go to that live now.
Can you wrap up again just one more time what you found inside and how you were able to find what was inside the ceiling?
As I said, the inspectors from Lara located the boxes, or the one box and the casket, and they subsequently called 911. The police responded. They removed the box and the casket from the false ceiling, or the lowered ceiling, and they opened up, and obviously they discovered the remains.
And right now you're saying just 11 bodies and no more than the 11?
That's correct.
Do we know why the owner had these bodies placed in the ceiling?
No.
Or what he was saving these bodies for? Or were they just improperly taken care of?
That's correct.
Okay.
So, to be clear, this would not have been an easy finding for the general person. These have to be really tucked away. Is this what you're saying? They were like tucked away?
Yes,
they would not have been easily identifiable.
That's correct. They were actually in a cardboard box, 9 of the 11, and they're very small remains. Okay, and they were in the cardboard box, stuffed away from a stairwell. Like I said, in between this. The ceiling from the first floor to the second floor, there's a lowered ceiling, and they were kind of hidden away.
Have you been in contact with the former owner, Mr. Raymond Cantrell, tonight?
No.
Do you need to talk to him?
Yes.
What do you need from him?
Well, obviously we have to find out what happened and why it happened. Okay, but
Had it not?
Sir, you said this came about from an anonymous letter sent to the State Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs about what was inside this funeral home.
that's correct.
Yeah, walk me through that one more time, sir.
As far as the letter?
Yeah, the letter and how Lara got word of what was going on here.
Yeah, they received, like I said, they received an anonymous letter, okay, just describing exactly where the box was, where the remains were. And they just went right to the location. They looked into, you got to climb up a ladder to look, and that's when they observed the box and the casket, and they called 911.
Had it not been for this tip.
Where exactly is it? You're saying in between the floors. Is this
Yes,
the living quarters or near the actual sanctuary? Where exactly?
The building has been added on several times, several revisions, and there was at one point a second story added, and this is like an empty space between the original first floor and the added on second floor.
Had it not been for this tip, would these bodies have been found, in your opinion?
It depends on how well they would inspected the building or how detailed the construction was.
Well, they were pretty well hidden.
Yes.
And you mentioned before that you guys know the names of some of these infants, and you're in the process of the medical examiner will soon be trying to notify their families about what was found here.
That's correct.
Because the detail of this letter, could this be an indication from your knowledge or just speculation? I don't want to speculate, but this appears to be someone who either placed these bodies there or potentially worked here. Is that part of your investigation?
Obviously, they had knowledge. You're not going to just guess. So whether they're an employee or whether they actually did it, we don't know yet.
And that's why you need to talk to Mr. Cantrell.
That's correct.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your experience working on the Detroit Police Department?
No. Any other questions?
Just finally, your name again.
Brian, B-R-I-A-N, B-O-W-S-E-R.
And just for people watching tonight, is there any other concern that people need to be aware of? People who are living in Detroit watching this story tonight, shocked by these details?
Well, obviously, you need to know who you're dealing with. As far as funerals go, you need to know who you're dealing with, and you have to have follow-up. You got to know your rights. If a funeral home is trying to squeeze money out of you, you need to contact Lara, and they'll do a follow-up investigation.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, folks.
I'm so sorry. Your last
All right.
And that was Allie Hoxie there on scene talking with Detroit PD about 11 infant bodies found there at the former Cantrell Funeral Home, of course, on the city's east side. And count on us to continue to follow this story very closely. We'll have continuing coverage on all platforms, including on air on our website, WXYZ.com, and of course, our 7 News app.